8 months ago, Jaden Hardy said, "I feel like I'm the best player in this class, honestly. There's a lot of great players in this class. Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, those are my guys. I just feel like my game stands out more. I feel like my game translates better to the modern NBA." Better than Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren? Well, what would you say if I were to tell you this guy that said that quote, he didn't even get drafted in the first round? So the NBA draft just got done wrapping up last night, and first things first, congratulations to every single player that got drafted. I've always felt like the NBA draft is slightly more special than the MLB and the NFL. There's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft, whereas in the NFL there's 7, and in baseball I think there's like 30 something. Overall, it seemed like all the players were satisfied and happy with what happened last night. Except for this guy. Only a year ago, this young man you're looking at right here, he was supposed to be a top 5 NBA draft pick. And for those of you that don't know, if you're a top 5 pick or even a top 10 pick, you're going to make around at minimum $20 million guaranteed. At this point in time last year, Jaden Hardy, he thought he was going to be one of those guys who was making 20, 25, or $30 million. Everybody was so high on him, he was supposed to be the next big thing, but fast forward in time to our current day, everybody forgot about him. It makes no sense whatsoever. In high school, he was listed at roughly 6'4", 190 pounds, and he had great measurables. His wingspan was 6'9". And oh yeah, can't forget to throw this in there. He was ranked as the second best overall player in the country behind guess who? Chet Holmgren. We all know Chet Holmgren, he was selected second overall, so if anything, this guy shouldn't have failed too much farther behind, right? Whoa, hold on. I said it doesn't make any sense, but it actually does, and it's almost like he shot himself in his own foot. There was a few reasons he fell all the way down to the second round, but there was one main reason. And the saddest part about that reason, and I mean the saddest part, is I don't think it's fair. We're gonna talk all about it, but real quick before we get into it, if you like basketball content, let me know in the comment section, drop a like, subscribe, do all that nice stuff. We're on the road to 200K, so if you wanna help us out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And now without further ado, let's get into it. Good old Jaden Hardy. Now I'm going to assume maybe half of you know who he is, and there's also going to be a large majority who don't. That's okay if you don't know who he is. Now I'm going to give you a little backstory. The reason I know so much about him is because I kept up with him in high school. Remember when we was making all those high school videos? I'm sure some of you guys in the comments, you're day ones and OGs. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, this is one guy we covered. Like we already stated, in high school he was electric, he was lighting it up, and he averaged well over 30 points per game. What made him so special to me is he reminded me a lot of Bradley Beal. He was relatively big and strong for a high school athlete. He could drive, slash, but his shot making ability, it's insane. You want to talk about the definition of a walking bucket? That's Jaden Hardy. I am not comparing him whatsoever to Kobe Bryant, but the way he looks for a shot reminds me of how Kobe played. And I like the Kobe comparison on that aspect because Jaden Hardy also takes some questionable shots, but you can't say too much about it because he makes a bunch of them. You know how when you go to your local park or local gym, you take crazy shots you wouldn't even think about taking in a game? That's Jaden Hardy. Coming out of high school, just like Chet Holmgren and Paolo Banchero, he was regarded as a top 5, at minimum top 10 NBA draft pick. But I'm going to show you right here in case some of you didn't watch the draft. He fell all the way down to the second round with the 37th overall pick to the Kings. Getting drafted by the Kings, it's already a terrible thing itself, but falling to 37 when you were a top-rated high school recruit, it makes it even worse. Yo, Future Matt coming in here to edit this. I guess I just had a brain lapse and forgot the Kings actually traded that pick to the Mavs, so sorry about that. Jaden Hardy is playing for the Mavericks. Get back on with the video, Matt. I mean this in the most respectful way. It's almost embarrassing, and I feel bad for him. It shouldn't have happened. And to go on top of that, he was invited to the green room, and he was the last player in the green room selected. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's basically where they get the players in one room where they know they're going high in the draft. I know exactly what you're sitting there thinking or saying to yourself. Yo, Matt, why did he fall so far? I do want to make this clear before I forget, and I want to give you some perspective. It's not like he missed out on 1, 2, 3, $4, $5 million, he missed out on at least 15 or 20 million. At this point in time last year, he was projected to make life-changing money, and now, yeah, he may make $1 million, but it's not going to be life-changing. I'm going to pull up the numbers here and show you the facts. If you're drafted in the top 5 or really even the top 10, In that 3 or 4 year contract, you're going to make $20-25 million. You can see it right here. In that first year, if you're a top 5, top 10 pick, you're going to make around $5, $6, $7, $8 million. But going all the way down to the last pick, the 30th overall pick, Peyton Watson, he's only going to make under $2 million. And in that entire 3 or 4 year contract, whatever it winds up being, he's going to make roughly $8-9 million. But that's for the 30th overall pick. Here's the catch. Second round picks, they're not guaranteed that money. The contracts for second round picks, they're not established. They're not set in stone. They can be whatever. So let's do some simple math here. If the 30th pick's only going to get $1.8 million the first year, Jaden Hardy more than likely is only going to get what? 1.3, 1.4 million at max? Once again, to put that in perspective, a year ago, he was projected to be a top 5 pick who was going to make in his first year $8-9 million. And now he might barely make $1 million. And then you gotta take this into account. Taxes, they're a real thing. So if he does make $1.3, $1.4 million, he's only gonna rack in about $800,000, $900,000. And last time I checked, making $800,000, $900,000, that's not life-changing money, especially in 2022. I never want to underestimate how much money these NBA or NFL draftees make because yeah, it's a crap ton, but the difference from a second round pick and a top 10 pick, it's insane. I wanted to share that with you real quick. Anyways, let's get back on topic. Why did he fall so far? We're not talking about a couple spots here and there. He didn't fall to the 13th or 14th pick. He fell all the way down to 37. Reason number 1, and I don't want to harp on this a lot because I've already talked about it a lot on this channel, but you gotta bring it up anytime it happens. Instead of going to college like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero, all those guys who got selected in the top 5, he said, nah, I'm not gonna do that, I'm going to the G League. With him deciding to go to the G League, what happened was, yes, he got guaranteed like $1 million or $2 million right then and there. I'll stand on this until the day I die. The G League, yes, it will develop you better, but going to college, if you want to make millions of dollars and get selected in top 5 or top 10, it's the far better route. It's a proven fact. You can be the better overall player, go to the G League, but everybody's going to forget about you because you're not playing on national television. It's the same argument I made last year with Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham. If Jalen Green goes to college, he's the number 1 pick, no questions asked. But since he didn't go to college, all these NBA GMs and scouts, they didn't get to see him on TV every single night. And these NBA scouts, they don't have time to watch and go surf for these NBA G League highlights or games. They just want to go home and watch them. But what happened was Cade Cunningham, he's on SportsCenter every single night, so you get to see him more. I can't dumb it down anymore. Going to the G League, it almost seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot. In my humble opinion, the only reason Jalen Green still got drafted that high is because he was regarded as a once-in-a-generational type of athlete. So right there you have it. Going to the G League, it killed his draft stock immediately, even if he performed well in the G League. But what made it so much worse, and it's reason number 2, he played bad in the G League. This statement I'm about to read to you, this isn't coming from me, this is coming from people who do the pre-draft analysis. Hardy is shooting a dismal 40% from 2-point range and 27% from beyond the arc while posting a negative assist to turnover ratio. He struggled to generate good looks for himself this season, regularly freezes out teammates, and has been a defense liability for most of the season. Wow, going even farther, NBA scouts in attendance question whether he has the quickness or feel to play one style of basketball he seemingly knows. Oh my bad, that doesn't say one, it says only. You get the point. That doesn't seem like a pre-draft analysis, that seems like some hatred. The crazy part about that statement is I can't disagree with any of it. I don't want to say he had an awful year for the G League Ignite, but it didn't help his case. 8 months ago, Jaden Hardy said, I feel like I'm the best player in this class, honestly. There's a lot of great players in this class. Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, those are my guys. I just feel like my game stands out more. I feel like my game translates better to the modern NBA. Better than Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren? Well, what would you say if I were to tell you this guy that said that quote, he didn't even get drafted in the first round? In the G League, when you take a look at his simple numbers, not too bad. I mean, it's kind of good if you just look at it on paper. He averaged 17.7 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. But you gotta do a little digging, my friend. He shot an abysmal 35% from the overall field and only 26.9% from the three-point line. I like Jaden Hardy. Seems like a great and humble kid, but that's not too hot. And just like we stated earlier, yeah, he did have 3.2 assists, but he averaged more turnovers than assists. And let's just say he's not the greatest defender I've ever seen, because at times he was a liability. Here's the thing though, and it all goes back to reason number one: if you go to college, he probably doesn't get exposed on the defensive side of the ball. The guys you're going to be playing at the college level, most of them, I'd say 99.5%, they're not going to be better than these G League guys you're going up against. So you can kind of somewhat get away with not being good on the defensive side and hide that weakness. But for Jaden Hardy, he full out got exposed not only on defense, but shooting as well. I do want to throw this in there as a key note, and many scouts have said this: those shooting numbers, it was just a bad year. Everybody feels like, and if you watched him in high school, you know he can shoot the ball. That's not a question. The real question, and it seems like he struggles mightily with this: when should he shoot? When should he have the green light and the red light? He takes a lot of questionable shots, therefore a lot of them, they're not good. How do I say this nicely? He doesn't have good shot selection. At times it does seem like he has that tunnel vision like Russell Westbrook, and he's already made it up in his mind. He's taking the shot no matter how many people are guarding him. He's got to be slightly more versatile, because if you thought he got exposed in the G League, I don't even know what's going to happen in the NBA. I'm saying he could get exposed even more in the NBA if he doesn't fix that, but he's young. I think he'll work on it. Let's take a look at this comment. I think it's a valid point. TyTy Washington just got drafted before Jaden Hardy after an injury-riddled season and limited spacing around him. Remember that before you choose the G League over Kentucky. It is a proven fact, going to the G League, it hurts your draft stock. I am very curious, so let me know your thoughts on this down below. It is unfortunate he fell in the draft and missed out on millions and millions and millions of dollars, but if he does perform well in the NBA, he can get that money back. That's gonna wrap up this video though. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, I'm out. Peace, man.